Hello, everybody. We have a couple of waves of wintry weather heading our way, and some models say even more than that. Now, we are a subpar for snowfall this season. Find out why I think some of us may indeed go a long ways towards catching up to some seasonal average. Your forecast starts right now.
Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, a quick message from my sponsors at Robert Gibb & Sons. Make sure you give them a call if you have been thinking at all about upgrading your heating and air conditioning system, because if you do that with a brand new Bryant system from Robert Gibb & Sons, they're going to throw in that water heater for free. Update your efficiency and just get it all done at once. Call Robert Gibb & Sons and let them know Hutch sent you. Now, let's talk a little bit about the weather. We have a few waves of stormy weather coming our way, below average temperatures, and some of us could have some travel troubles across the area. An update on the track and timing of our wintry weather as we head through the next couple of days coming right up right now. But first, let's take a look at our current conditions. On the radar, it's fairly quiet. We do have those north winds that are pretty ripping out there, gusting over 30 miles per hour across the valley, ushering in some cooler air our way. Hey, good to see you on here, Bruce, as is always the case. Make sure you log in. Let me know where you're watching from. Bruce says, Skol from Vining. Yes, that's indeed the case. We'll have to get ready for a little bit more maybe Viking-like weather for us, as we've had a fairly quiet winter season. And even though beginning tonight at 10:06 p.m., we will be undergoing the vernal equinox. That's spring. Some winter-like weather on the way, as you know. Just, well, grin and bear it. 30s for most of us. Wind gusting over 25 and even 30 miles per hour for some. It's a cool day out there heading into your evening. Now, we've been talking about a chance of snow for Thursday. Let me show you the forecast for that. Let's get right out of the gun with the latest and the greatest with regards to that. Here you go. Hey, good to have you on board, Sandra. Howdy from chilly New York Mills, and Wendell joining from Bagley as well. Is it going to miss Bagley? The first round may. Here's our track of our storm system that will work its way through on the day Thursday. It begins out to the west, so by early to midday hours, western parts of North Dakota will be seeing snow, as will eastern Montana from Fort Peck Reservoir and points north of Highway 2 primarily, and along Highway 2 for places like Wolf Point and Glasgow, and points north towards Freud. Now, as we head into the Dakotas, as the storm makes its way through, it dives south just a little bit. Here's Hutch's forecast for snowfall. It does go all the way to the cities. This is by Friday morning for our area. It will impact the Twin Cities as we go through the day on Friday for some of you folks as well. Keep that in mind. The area that you see impacted by the snow here, think of this. 1 to 2 inches is going to be likely for many in this area. Okay, so we'll say 1 to 2 inches likely. That includes areas near Grand Forks, Mayville, straight south into Valley City, and the I-94 corridor, at least right now, looks to be in good order for being in pockets of 2 to 5 inches for some. That could make travel a little difficult at times, and there won't be a ton of wind with this system concurrent with the snow falling or at the same time as the snow is falling, but there will be some wind as it does blow its way through. So keep that in mind. Reduced visibility, it will be making its way into our area as we head into your evening. Cheryl, good to have you on board from Park Rapids, and Shelley, Minnesota, checking in as well with Sharon and Ross. Good to have you on. So again, Thursday, we get snow, mainly in the latter half of the day, afternoon and evening from Bismarck to Fargo. If you're in the far northern reaches of the region, looks like no big snow for your area, but we can't rule out some wind and flakes for sure. And it will be colder for all. We'll show you a track of that, but we've also been talking about an impactful storm system heading our way. Now, I do have a update on this on my YouTube channel, and I will do another one in which we compare all of these models heading our way into the weekend ahead. And it does look like there will be an impactful snow system that brings heavy, heavy snow. And I mean heavy snow. Some models have feet, a foot, or some models have multiple feet of snow in places. Now, in elevated terrain, like places like we've seen it already this winter, the Sierra Nevada, that's certainly not out of the question. But our area, well, look at this. There's been a shift in the model track. This is the American model. Remember yesterday, it was the odd model out, putting everything south of us. It's now shifted north. This is going to be a trend. We're going to see models all shifting and having different solutions each and every day. Suffice it to say this. Wherever this storm does decide to track, there will be wind, there will be heavy snow, and the timing will be mainly on Sunday and all day Monday. And much of Monday, it will impact the Minnesota side of the river as opposed to the North Dakota side of the river. Keep that in mind for your travel plans as well. This could impact air travel across the nation, including from Fargo and Minneapolis, even into the Denver area as well. And if you're in Montana, Billings looks to be in a little bit of a hole. Paula, thank you so much for your stars. Jolene, hello. Good to have you on board. Watching from Dilworth is Paula. And also we have Kasha enjoying from the Grand Forks area, and they don't want any snow. Now, here's a little bit of an update. First and foremost, in Fargo, so far this season, we've had just over 1.5 feet of snow. That is not very much. A typical entire winter, we usually get around 50 inches of snow. That's here and in Grand Forks, and it doesn't look like we're going to see that much this season unless we do some serious catching up. Well, guess what, folks? We'll have a chance at doing some significant catching up between Thursday's system and again as we head into the weekend, particularly Sunday and Monday. Stay tuned for the updates on that. We'll have more information right here. But for now, let's talk about your day tomorrow. Hey, Roger, good to have you from Yuma, Arizona. 74 degrees in the house. That's not a bad temperature to have. And is Grand Forks going to get snow? Watching from Wadena is Corey. Sarah says, hey, how you doing? Good to have you on board. Jen as well from Moorhead, as Gary is joining in from Grand Forks. All right, let's talk about your morning temperatures. These north winds that we have gusting, ushering in cold temperatures, single-digit readings. It looks frigid, ear-tingling cold out there. Have the old hats ready. A sunny and quiet morning. As far as the temperatures go, the wind will be out of the north, and that will be crisp and cool with wind chills below zero. So keep that in mind. Then the north wind continues, but it decreases a bit, particularly late. The heat is on in Montana and Wyoming, where we'll see 40s and 50s out there between, say, Miles City, Montana, and Billings, and down into the Gillette area of Wyoming. Then as we look into our area, we peak, but only in the 20s for most of us. It'll be a brisk day. Yes, I know I'm sitting right in front of Minnesota, and thanks for all of your reminders on that. I love to keep everyone informed, no matter where you are. And we have plenty in Minnesota watching. So from Bagley and Bemidji, we're expecting 20 to 25 degrees. It will be cooler up north near the international border, some teens there. Looking into Lakes Country here, west central Minnesota from the Wheaton area through Fergus Falls will be a little closer to 25 to 30 degrees. Likewise in the Fargo-Moorhead area, 27, your afternoon temperature. Now, we'll have a few clouds moving into our western counties as we go into the afternoon and late day. That's the system out west getting ready to bring the change. 47 and windy in Cullum, says Brad. Thank you for the update. I'll tell you what, that temperature here showing up. Let me take a look. What do I got? I've got 42 in Jamestown right now. So that Cullum reading in the mid 40s is very impressive, but not doubtful because by golly, we got a warm burp of air just off to the west. All right, here is a look at your planning forecast. Wednesday, sunny and colder for all. Thursday, we will see the onset of snow, mainly in the afternoon areas. I've posted on here 1 to 2 inches for most. 2 to 5 will be possible for some, even here in eastern North Dakota. No matter where you're traveling, keep in mind there'll be a little bit of wind, some slippery conditions across the area, but not impossible travel the way it looks. And it's coming during daylight hours. So the biggest impact here in the eastern part of the state and into Minnesota will be that evening commute and nighttime driving into Fargo Friday morning, not Fargo morning. Friday, we're going to see a couple of flakes in the morning hours as our system exits mainly east of Fargo, and then heading into the weekend. Saturday looks quiet for most of the day. Flurries out west will begin pushing in. Sunday looks ridiculous as snow that could be heavy at times will move through potentially our area. I'll show you the track of that real quickly in our region on one of the models coming up next. By the time we get to Monday, most of the snow will be continuing. Very heavy snow in much of central Minnesota, maybe eastern Minnesota from Duluth through Minneapolis, southern Minnesota also. And the valley stands to pick up some additional snow as well as our Lakes Country counties. Central Minnesota in dire need of moisture, and this system could bring it. It does look like a nice catch up. Well, my chair just shrunk. Let me just adjust the old seat here. Then we stay cold. Depending on how much snow we get will dictate how cold we get. But believe it or not, we'll have highs in the teens heading into the middle of next week. Hi, Carol from Twin Valley. Good to have you on. Simon says, yay, snow. I like snow, but you know what? I was kind of looking forward to parking the old snowblower for a while, but don't do it. Wax your shovels, get that wax out, get that thing ready to roll, gas up the snowblower. Hutch recommends giving it a good old start because, heck, I haven't even used it much this year. So making sure it runs, that'll be important. Let's look at a model. We'll look at let's look at the American model today. Okay. And then I'll go over a model review on my YouTube video nationally here coming up in a minute. But let's take a focal point at what this system looks like here as we head into the weekend ahead. This one will show both Thursday's pass up an Alberta Clipper as well as the weekend system coming our way. So let's go ahead and pull up the most recent model in. And here we go. There's Thursday's system. The timing at the top of the model here says 6C. That'll be in the morning hours on Thursday starting in Bismarck. As we get into the midday hour, the main event starts moving in. We're talking Miles City, Billings, Beach. And if you're in Webo, Montana, look out Webo, Montana. This is going to be the time for you, noon. So that lunch hour commute in Webo, Montana looks to be a little bit tricky. Maybe Medora as well, right? That heavier band of snow sneaks its way into the southeastern quadrant of North Dakota right in time for your drive time between 5 and 7 p.m. The strongest of the winds will be just south of our area, though. So our southern counties will have the most wind. Hey, Paul, good to have you on from Scobie, way up in northeast Montana. Gotta like that. You guys, let's take it back for you. There'll be a chance of some light snow with some wind for you. It looks like the bigger snowfall amounts will be closer to the I-94 corridor there in eastern Montana. Thanks for signing on, and thanks for checking out Hutch's weather page here. Those isobars do look pretty friendly out there, Paul, as we take a look at this advancing. Now, look at this system. Remember I told you it was going to continue to snow into Friday for the Twin Cities? Then it really picks into some moisture here, and you see the purple colors there in southern Minnesota. That would be some convective type snow, 1 to 2 inches per hour easy from snow rates like that, if that's how it transpires. We get a little break. We can't rule out light snow or flurries. What you're seeing on the 7-day forecast, it shows snow, chance of snow every day. Don't worry about it. But get ready, okay? Get ready, because here comes the Colorado-style low. A low-pressure system moving out of the Pacific Northwest will dive south in the Rockies. And as it does so, it's going to grab moisture from the Gulf of Mexico and lob it up our way. So it grabs and lobs, grabs and lobs. Grabbing moisture, lobbing it up north. Bands of moderate to heavy snow beginning very early on Sunday and winding its way through the region. This low is still in Colorado. I'm going to say that again. The low is still in Colorado. It's been snowing all day Sunday. And here it comes. Then it lifts out, kind of splits and stretches out. And as it does that, we'll get areas of very heavy snow. That's in South Dakota and southern Minnesota. So it could be that the heaviest of the snow on this American model now looks to be to the south just a little bit, but it's certainly very close. And it looks like the storm lasts. Look where the low goes. It dives all the way out of Colorado and works right up into Iowa and Minnesota through Monday. This is Monday evening. So it takes all the way from, Sunday morning, very early right here, to Monday night. So there will be some areas that could see significant snow. Could it be a foot? It could be a foot for some. Colorado lows oftentimes are the most common 1 foot producers of snow in our area. Does it mean everyone will see a foot? Absolutely not. But if I had livestock, and if I had travel plans, I'd pay particular attention to this forecast. I'll have more details later. Hey, a lot of you have asked me about Easter Sunday. Here's a look. This is Thursday heading into the holiday, and it does look like we'll have another system that could be skirting through. This is Saturday. One moves through, and then look at this as we go into Easter Sunday, and just following it into Monday, more wintry weather coming through. This is the American model. It's going out so very, very far. We cannot put a lot of weight into this, but I can tell you this, the pattern is very active. And sometimes, folks, things just have a way of catching up to average. Our average snow, as I began this broadcast, is around 50 inches of snow. Does that mean because we're sitting at 12, we're going to get 40 inches? No, but things do have a way of sometimes balancing out and getting closer to average. And I think we're going to do just that in Fargo. I think we're going to do just that in parts of South Dakota. The Northern Valley, maybe a little bit less with this track. So that's a look at your forecast. Let me show you this. I want to sell you to what's going on ahead. Here's the radar forecast of what we're expecting, the future radar of our Thursday system coming through. A snapshot, drive time, Southern Valley, all the way to the 200 corridor, light snow north. Isobars not so friendly up here. Lighter winds north, gustier winds south, with the strongest winds in South Dakota. So this system is not really going to be capable of those 40 or 50 mile per hour gusts while it is snowing the way it looks to me. That low parks in Minneapolis as we go into Friday. Keep that in mind. And then this is our snowfall review for Thursday's Clipper system. 1 to 2 likely in the areas that you see the track here. Up north, not so likely for 1 to 2. But if you're in the path of the storm here where I've forecast it, 1 to 2 is likely, 2 to 5 for some. And that 2 to 5 window does include the I-94 corridor, very close to you folks here in that Highway 200 corridor. And if you're along Highway 13 or 11 in southeast North Dakota, keep in mind travel could be a little tricky beginning Thursday in the afternoon into Friday morning. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. It's sure good to have you on board. Karina says, gross. Been spoiled in Fergus. And you know what? Fergus could get some Thursday snow, but I think our Minnesota counties could have a prolonged snow event, particularly central Minnesota. So have those snowblowers ready and keep it tuned right here to Hutch's Weather. I'll give you the straight shot. Thank you for your stars. Thanks for your support. And thank my sponsors as well at Robert Gibb & Sons, keeping them forefront in your mind. Should you need any mechanical needs whatsoever, they not only do the heating and air conditioning, but they do plumbing and electrical as well. They do residential. They do commercial. Give them a call. Tell them Hutch sent you. Have a good evening. I will be back with more updates throughout the night on our unsettled